name's Helen, I'm the Diddy Stitcher. My pronouns are she, her. It is Friday the 22nd of March and this is my channel all about cross stitch. It's a lovely day here in the northeast of England. We are seeing the sun for the first time in years, it seems. But it's still chilly. It's like 9 degrees, which is like high 40s Fahrenheit, I think. And quite breezy. So not a day for sitting in the garden, but it looks nice. But yeah, I'll still take my vitamin D tablet because it's probably going to be grey tomorrow as well. So if you've been here before, you know we start my videos with a tarot pull, and today I've pulled the Four of Pence. Four of Pence, it can be seen kind of one of two ways. It can be seen as like stability. You've got all of your pieces in the places that they need to be. You're like on it, all good. And whether that's, you know, finances, material things, whether it's just your all your connections with your chakras are aligned, anything like that. You can also take it as you're holding on to all of this a little bit too tight, and maybe you need to be giving some of that good energy that you have to other people. Maybe share the wealth a little bit. For me, in my stitching, it comes as quite a nice thing because I feel like I've been a little bit chaotic recently, and I feel like I'm getting things back on track. I've had a lot of kind of new starts and things that weren't planned. At the start of the year, I had like a whole goals thing that I'm still working through, but then there's stuff being added kind of all the time, and I'm like, this was not the plan. Which some people thrive on. And I love being part of this community, and all of those things that are happening is just so positive and lovely. But yeah, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed, I'll say, a little bit overwhelmed with stitching, which is, you know, such a nice problem to have. So I feel like I've gotten through that and feeling a little bit like I've learned to say no to a couple of things to myself. Like, no, you don't need to do that to be, you know, doing everything that everybody else is doing. So to me, I read this as like, you know, you've got the stability that you were looking for, and that's okay. So yeah. So what I'm loving at the minute, we got new coffee mugs. It's got like, oh, ignore the dribble, but it's like this bubble glaze effect, and it's like really nice to hold. Like a little sensory toy. But yeah, they're from Asda, which is Walmart here in the UK. And we went around like 6 different stores to find 6 mugs, and we're still gonna look to see if we can get a few more, because we've been looking for quite a long time for some new mugs that we can both, me and my husband, agree on, and not get rid. I have a lot of Disney mugs. I used to work at Disney World in Florida, so I have a lot of like memorabilia mugs and just, you know, mugs from the parks and film mugs and stuff like that he doesn't like to use for whatever reason. So I've packed all those up and put them in the loft, and now we have mugs that we both agree on, and I really like them. It keeps the tea very hot. Other thing that I'm enjoying, it's my last day of work today before a week off for holidays. It's Alex's birthday on Wednesday, His parents are going to come up for a little visit, which would be nice. So yeah, I've got that last day of work energy. I'm really excited. So yeah, onto the stitching. I have one FFO. I need to tilt the camera. Oh, eep. Ignore the masking tape holding it up. But this is Let's Make a Statement number 4 from D's 20 Stitches. This is Gender Affirming Care Saves Lives. I showed you it as a finish last video, I think, and then yeah, took the time to put the pom-pom trim on and attach it to the ribbon. Whoop. So yeah, I love that bunting. It makes me so happy every time I see it. And yeah, can't wait for it to like stretch all the way across the room. If Dee keeps designing, I'm going to keep stitching. That's about it. No other finishes this week. 2 weeks it's been since I last filmed, but I did have a new start. This is Wafflin by Michelle Bendy Stitchy, and this was one of the things that was like, oh, it's a new start, it's a new thing, it's not something that I've not planned, but this is why I love being part of this community. Some people got together and decided to surprise Michelle for her birthday, which was what? Not last Sunday, but the Sunday before. With like tagging Instagram and spamming her with Michelle charts, new starts, whips, FFOs, you know, all of that. So got invited into the group chat and said, you know, start something if you want to. And for ages, I haven't had a Michelle start. So this is actually one of her Patreon charts, so it's not available. She might release it at some point, I don't know. But this chart was actually inspired by me. So I have to stitch it, obviously. So I'm sure you know Michelle Bendy. But she has on a Sunday, she'll do Twitch streams, and she's been streaming on YouTube at the same time because she can do that now, which is amazing. So if you're not on Twitch, but you're obviously on YouTube because you're watching this, you can catch her live streams, and it's really fun to like talk with everybody. So you know, she sits in chat and you can type in the chat box. And I think in one of those, I was like talking about something and I just kept typing. I said, I'm so sorry, I'm waffling now. And I think there was a bit of confusion from the American side of like, you're not waffling, because waffling in America is like torn between two options. You're waffling between the two, and waffling here in the UK is like you're just yapping on about something with no kind of real purpose. So I think I introduced that term to Michelle, and she's like, oh yeah, I waffle all the time, in the British sense. So yeah, she designed this chart. Every day I'm waffling with a waffle and a knife and fork. That's not really, it shows up in real life, the knife and fork. So yeah, I had to stitch it because she like mentions me in the chart, so why haven't I stitched it yet? So I started this not last Sunday, the Sunday before, for the Bendy birthday extravaganza, and I've been working on it just at my desk because it's just in this tiny little hoop. And this is a 40 count sandstone linen by Northumberland Sampler House, with the called for threads. I think it's a different grey. I think I used one and it calls, I think I used two and it calls for 3 or something like that. So yeah, so I'll finish that. It'll go up on a hoop and it'll live up here somewhere. Because I do tend to waffle in my videos. Oh, and this was the first time I'd used my snag nabbit. When I first heard about snag nabbits, I was quite intrigued. And I thought, oh yeah, I have probably had a use for it and not had it, so I'll get one. And since I've gotten it, I haven't had a use for it, but I did get a little knot at the front in the fork. And it was just like, oh, it was so close to like the fabric the knot was that I couldn't get in there. So I got the Clover 2-pack of the snag nabbits, and it gives you a bigger one and a smaller one for smaller counts. So I used the smaller one and pulled it through, and boom, instantly it was gone. I was like, oh, I was so glad that I had that. So yeah, snag nabbits for the win. Yeah, happy with that. And happy birthday, Michelle. It was fun to surprise you. So that was a start and a whip. I've just been working on it here and there. Other whips, my model stitch for Yasmin's Made with Love. I'm on the last of 4 charts that she's asked me to do. And since my last video, I've done 2,674 stitches on that chart. Still a little ways to go. Still want to finish that before I go to Canada in like 4 weeks time, which is a little bit terrifying. Is it 4 weeks or like 5 weeks? Yeah, 4 weeks. I'm getting like really nervous, excited. I'm gonna have to like start thinking about packing soon. I got tons of stuff to bring with me to give a stitchy kindness. A bit worried about how much that's all gonna weigh. But yeah, I'll talk about that more in another video probably. Other whips was my Anna full coverage. This is my Anna, my daughter. One of these Stitcher Picture kits my dad had got me for my birthday last year. So yeah, I've done like 300 stitches. So this is on, it came with the 18 count like printed Ada, but this is the nylon-y, satiny thread. I didn't know how it would hold up with the Ada like fraying and such, and then a little bit concerned about washing it afterwards. So I've put it on a 25 count even weave, and I'm doing it 2/110 stitch, which is new as well. So yeah, it came, as well as the printed fabric, it came with a paper chart. So it's a little bit difficult to read. I'm just kind of doing it very methodically. But yeah, this is what I have so far. It's all just background. It's really boring. But it goes quite quickly. This is my needle minder. I survived the great toilet paper crisis of 2020 because my daughter was born right at the start of lockdown. So lockdown was a big part of her life that she won't remember, but she's a COVID baby. More on that later. So yeah, it's just something that I'm plugging away at. I try and do just like a little bit because it does get a little bit frustrating with how the chart is. It's just not something that I'm used to. But I'll just plug away at it. My pull from my goals last video was Illuminations, which is Sycamore Gap by Treo Stitch Kits, and this is what I've got done. So filled in most of this colour. Here the chart, it doesn't go into Pattern Keeper. Like half of it does and half of it just doesn't show up at all. I'm really confused about why, but I'm doing it on a paper chart, and it's split into 4 sections. So that's why I've kind of only, I've stopped like there. So yeah, but this is 10% finished now. So that was my goal for the year on this. So where did it go? 10%. So I'll take that magnet and turn it upside down, because I finished that goal. It didn't take long at all, which is good. I was trying to have some smaller goals in the, you know, easily achievable. So yeah, I started this I had bought it a while ago, but I started it on the day that someone felled the tree, you know, as an act of vandalism. I'm very upset, still very upset about it, but you know, the initial pain has gone. And good news, they managed to harvest some of the seeds from the tree after it was felled, and those are sprouting. So we do have some baby trees from the big tree. But yeah, this is kind of my memorial piece to Sycamore Gap. Yeah. Oh, I put it on .36 count even weave, I think. Yeah, because this is just the PDF pattern from Jen at Treo, but all of her kits come with 18 count Ada, so that it goes into a 5x7 frame. It's full coverage, but it's like a little full coverage, so that it'll be able to go into a 5x7 frame. I've put it on a 36 count even weave. Oh, and I think the last time I stitched on it, these little dots, they're like stars because it's like at night. I done it in the wrong colour, so I picked those out and I put it in the right colour before I started on the rest. So not a lot to show on that, but I did my goal and that was it. Happy with that. My other whip was another D1, Stitch for Pride 2024. So this sriracha bottle. So this month we learned about Stephanie H. She, a ceramicist, Asian American, great craftivist. That was difficult. Great craftivist. Love learning about her. She's just amazing. This was a lot of stitching compared to these two. A lot. This is a CC work, so you stitch like the background, and then the figure comes out where you've not stitched. And I chose DMC 4510. This, I can't remember, I don't know if it's colorist or a variation. But it's got like green, pink, orange, and like a muddy grey. I had pulled from the advance that Dee gave us, I pulled like a lighter variegated, and I chose to go with the darker. And I'm glad I did. I think it looks really good. And I used the green from February's in the lid. So keeping on with the theme of picking out a little bit of colour on each one. So that worked out nicely. So I wonder if I'd be able to use this in April's. I'm not sure. I think it goes down here, April's, with the little sneak that Dee gave us. But yeah, that's my Stitch for Pride. This is on 36 count latte? I can't remember. This was one of my Fibre on a Whim fabric of the months. So yeah, I love it. Dee is so talented. We are so lucky. So yeah, it's the end of March. When's the 1st? Oh, next Monday is the 1st, and that's a bank holiday here in the UK, so I'll still be off work from my week, so I get a week and a bit, which is nice. So that'll come out, and I want to finish April's before I fly to Canada, because then when I come back from Canada, it'll be May the 1st, and there'll be a new May one, so I have to do that. So that was all my whips that I've worked on that I can show you. I wish I could show you my model. I've done so much work on it. It's hard not to show you, but you'll see it eventually when Yaz releases all of her designs. I'm really excited. So haul, I wasn't going to, but then I did. I had obviously Nashville Needlework Market was recently, and you see all of these amazing new designs, and I'm like, I've got so many in my stash. And Notion that I use to track all my stitching and all my stash, like, tells you how many you've got to kit up, how many's like on your wish list, and I'm like, this is too many. But so I tried not to put too many from this year on my wish list. There was these 3 that I'm about to show you, and 2 others. So they were on my wish list. I wasn't going to specifically buy them because I've got Canada to go to. They might have them there that I can pick up from a vendor. Or when I'm traveling around with Megan afterwards, we might hit a few shops and see if I can find them. But Trudian Designs, I've met them a couple of times at stitching shows, and they're just lovely people. Trudian Jeff, I think. And they don't have an online store. What they do have is like an eBay shop. So I follow them on Instagram, and when they have stuff in their shop, they put on their Instagram. So I'd seen that they had these in their shop, and I didn't place a pre-order with anyone before Nashville. So I didn't. So everywhere that I knew went to Nashville, everything was already out of stock that I wanted. So when I saw that they had them, I thought I just have to get them, because I love supporting them, and I don't think it would be difficult to get these charts in the future, but you never know. So I thought I'll just grab them and see. So the 3 that I got were all the Stacy Nash new releases. I think these are this year's releases of the Animal Cracker series. I have P. Roy the Slug already, but it was PDF from Stacy Nash's website or Etsy or whatever. But I love cute animals, anthropomorphized animals. I have the cotton, linen, wool and silk series from the Primitive Hair. And I love the Animal Cracker series. I don't love all of the animals. And that's good for me because usually I'm a completist. I need the whole series. But with the Stacy Nash ones, I'm like, I'll just do the ones that I find cute. So I've got Miss Hazel. Excuse the glare. I don't really want to take them out of the packets. Calls for weeks dye work, so I'm gonna have to do a conversion. But that's cute. It's got a little, you can finish it with a little pocket on the back for scissors. This one is Bobbin, a little mouse, which is the cutest thing ever. I'm gonna have to get a bobbin. Trudy actually sells those bobbins, but they weren't on her eBay. I probably should have just sent them a message. I'm sure I can pick one up for it to stand on and finish it like that. And then Maggie May, a very cute little bunny in her little dress and her little cardigan. It's so cute. Yeah. So they all call for weeks, which isn't, don't stitch with weeks. And I got Peoria as well. And I think there's some others from her past releases in the series that I want. I can't remember off the top of my head. The other two that I wanted were the 12 Days of Christmas from Annie B's, the little stockings. Super cute. Want to do them like super tiny and put them on a little garland for somewhere around the house at Christmas. I say that and I have 'Twas the Night Before Christmas by Sue Hillis still in the cupboard waiting to get framed to put up at Christmas from like 2018 or something. So, and then the last one that I wanted is 324 by Works by ABC. But I didn't need to pre-order. But I have this like not fear now, but there was a chart from 2023 Nashville that I liked, put on my wish list and didn't pre-order, and now it seems to be hard to find, but I think Michelle Chinook Crafter might have found me a copy that I can grab from her in Canada. So like, if it's on my wish list, I feel like I need to go and find it, have it. Lest I'd be disappointed. We shall see. So more haul. First, Most Magnificent Ink Circles Round Robin. I am with, so it's me, Deanna, Darling and Whimsy, Rachel. I can't remember your handle, Rachel. It's like RMC Raw or something like that. And Rob of Zav's Stitches. Yeah? So Rachel sent me Rob's chart, which is Elegant Squid. And this is what it looks like. I don't know which way up we're holding this. So cool. It'll be so cool to see this finished. So this is, let me see because I don't even know. This is linen from Die Stitch Love. Haven't used theirs before. This is Misty Rain 32 count linen. And the threads are Gentle Art Wrought Iron for the black squid and Classic Colorway Joshua Tree for the rest. And it looks like a really simple pattern once you get into it. I think it'd be pretty quick. So I don't know whether to put this one aside because in our little group we were like behind starting with the round robin, so I think I don't have to get this sent out until the end of May. So this one might sit until I come back from Canada. So I get the stuff that I want to do before Canada done. I kind of don't need to stress myself with it. But yeah, that came in the mail. Glad it got here safe and sound. Pick up all the bits. Because Rob is not going to stitch North. If Rob was there, I would get it done and hand it off to him, because the second most magnificent ink circles, round robin, Julicious, they are sending me their project, which I think should be in the mail about now, and I have to hand off I've already sent my project to Kim, so she should have that already. So if I can finish Julia's in like 2 weeks before going to Stitch North, I can give Kim Julia's and I don't have to mail it like at the end of June. It's crazy. Like, I don't know if I'll be annoying Kim by doing that. But it feels like it's helping me with this juggling everything, all of these different things that I'm doing. If I can get it off my plate, for want of a better word, then when I come home and like have to do Rob's and, you know, whatever else I've collected while I'm over there, I'm gonna pre-order the Stitch North kit, so I'll probably start that while I'm there. That'll be something else to, you know, bring home, and then anything else that I pick up, of course, there's going to be other haul and things that I want to start. That's the plan, anyway, if I get Julia's package in time. And then the other haul that I got, I've talked about Amy from Hello Treacle quite a bit. She designs the Fuck the Tories cross stitch. This little embroidery piece was from her. I've done the little moth that I've done for my smalls exchange at Stitch North. That's one of her designs, and she's closed Hello Treacle as a business and moving into a new venture of what her crafty and craftivism looks like going forward. So now it's flowing fibers. She was getting rid of a load of Hello Treacle stock that she had, and just kind of clearing out her office at home of stuff that wasn't going to serve her going forward into this new venture. So I bought a lot of stuff in the sale, and she puts things on her stories as she's going through stuff. And one of the things was, I have this, she like produces enamel pins of varying things, mostly Fuck the Tories stuff. And she had a box of like seconds where the little pin had popped off, so she couldn't sell it as a pin. And I said, I'll take them, I'll make them into needle minders, I'll take them to Canada. So we had a little discussion, and I said, like, how much would you want for it? And she's like, well, I don't want to sell them, but a contribution to a cause would be lovely. And I will go into what that cause is for various reasons that I'm sure you'll understand. But I sent her some money to give to the cause that is close to her heart. And also, I added to my previous donation to the Palestinian Red Cross. That was Amy's wish. So I did that. She sent me these pins, and oh my goodness, these are a lot of pins. So this is just a few of the ones. So you can see the pin is just like popped off at the back, and that's what I do with pins that I turn into needle minders anyway. I get my husband to prise it off, and sometimes his little Dremel to file it down where it's a bit sharp. So some of them came off cleanly, some of them had the little spike, you know, when it grips the fabric. So I've passed them off to him to drill those for me to get them nice and safe. And I have quite a lot, probably more than I can take to Canada because they're quite heavy. So these are the Fuck the Tories pins that will eventually be turned into needle minders. So these are gold with like a black enamel. I quite like them because they're, from a distance, they just look a bit flowery and a bit nice. And then, yeah, Fuck the Tories. And I didn't really realize, I know like Tories is like the Conservative Party. I didn't know that people also to refer to Conservative parties in their own country as Tories. So it's not just for UK peeps. So I've already had a few like me please on my Instagram stories. But if you would like one, I'm pretty much gonna just send them out and ask you to also donate to a pro-Palestinian cause. So if you'd like one, leave a comment down below or send me a DM on Instagram and we can talk about it. I had some other types as well of not a Tory, if you're not into the profanities of the other ones. And or if you want to be more obvious about it, there's Fuck the Tories. So I've got a couple different designs. But yeah, I don't think I'll be able to take the whole amount to Canada. So I'll happy to spread the love here as well. So if you're not going to Stitch North weekend 2, it doesn't rule you out. If you would like one, leave a comment, send me a DM. And that's it for haul, I think. Yeah, that was it. So plans, like I said, model stitching before I go to Canada. Second most magnificent ink circles round robin before I go to Canada, if that's possible. Stitch for Pride April before I go to Canada. And also the Fine Frog Stitching Femurs and Fungi Sal is starting April 1st? I can't remember. I think those come out every week or so I want to stay on top of that as well. That's kind of like priority number 4, that if that falls behind, I'm not too worried. But it's something that I signed up for, it's something that's starting. It's fine, it's all fine. So on top of that, we've got to roll the D20 dice and see what one of my goal pieces I need to work on. Days 11. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is my other chatelaine what is it called? Christmas tree mandala. And my goal for the year is to finish the center. I'm sure I can finish that this week. I think the postman just came. Yeah, I'm sure I can finish the goal of finishing the center. It's a lot of backstitching the like the gates. So it's a lot of counting. It's not just like, oh, let's cross stitch. It's a bit difficult. I think that's why I've only given myself finish the center for the goal. But yeah, I'll be getting that as well. So that's it for the stitching. I've got a little bit of life update if you want to stay and chat for that. Is my tea cold? It's cold now. So talked about my COVID baby, Anna. If you've been here before, you know she's been sick a lot. So my husband was sick a lot when he was a kid, and he got meningococcal septicemia and was hospitalized for a while, recovered thankfully, but they found out that he had a immune deficiency of, I can't remember, it's like really scientific-y stuff, that a thing doesn't respond the way it's meant to. So we were worried that Anna had the same thing, so the GP referred us to pediatrics at the hospital so they could run the tests. They ran all the tests. She's absolutely fine. She's got no deficiencies, inabilities whatsoever. So she's just getting sick a lot. The consultant there was a lovely, lovely, lovely man throughout the whole thing. He took Alex's stuff really seriously. He did all of the tests kind of under the sun that she would need, and all of them came back fine. So we had a follow-up with him, and he said, you know, I'm really happy that everything looks normal for her. There's nothing to be worried about when she does get sick, that it might turn into something else because she has a deficiency. Obviously there's no kind of guarantee, but there's nothing underlying that's worrying. So we were happy with that, and he just said, this is just something we're seeing a lot of this cohort of kids born kind of March to June 2020. This really small group of kids, because they didn't have the exposure at that vital kind of stage, which, you know, we are very thankful for. We followed all the rules to keep everyone safe, not just us. But the consequences of that, I mean, there was a lot of consequences of lockdown, and I'll be happy to talk about them all the time. But one of the consequences is these kids didn't get their immune system wasn't exposed to the stuff that they would normally be exposed to. So they are now kind of trying to catch up, and everything that seems to just be a little cold to us really affects them. I don't know what research is being done into this, or if there's an actual diagnosis of COVID baby, or, you know, whatever they would want to call it. But yeah, basically he just said, she's a COVID baby. She'll get over it eventually. She just needs to kind of catch up from that time that was lost, which is difficult. But there's nothing wrong, like, underneath it all. So every time she gets sick now, it's still bad. She still gets it really bad. She still needs antibiotics. But it makes me feel a lot better that I'm not constantly watching her, ready for her to like go into a fit because her body's turned it into something or not responded the right way. So just that information makes me feel a lot better. So yeah, and then a couple of weeks ago, I think just after I filmed last, we went to see the Bluey play. It was amazing. We'd been planning it for a long time, me and my cousin, who has a daughter and now a 1-year-old son. We'd booked it like a million years ago, it seems, and it finally came around. And Anna's now been to like a lot of these plays and shows, and she absolutely loves it, and it makes my heart sing because I'm a thespian at heart. It was really funny talking to Anna afterwards, like, oh, we went and saw Bluey, and she was like, well, it wasn't Bluey, it was people behind Bluey, like with the puppets. And I was like, yeah, okay, like, did you like the show? She's like, yeah, it was really fun. I was like, okay, but like she knows it's like not Bluey. And like I mentioned before in this video, I used to work at Disney World in Florida, so I want to take her one day when she's a bit older, to like fully experience it and remember it. And I'm like, oh, like how is she gonna react to characters and, you know, such like that. It's a thought for another day, but at 3 years old, she already knows that, like, that's not Bluey. What are you talking about? And I'm not trying to pull the wool over her eyes. I was like, oh, like, the puppeteers, like, did a lot of work, and at the beginning, there's just, like, it's a lovely scene, and the beautiful music. Geoff Bush's music is just, it makes you cry. Me and my cousin were bawling before it even started. So yeah, beautiful scenery, the beautiful music, and the puppeteers come out with some galahs, I think, the birds, and like it flies over the audience, and it was just beautiful. And she was like, yeah, the people made the birds fly, and I was like, yeah, they did. That must have been really heavy, and talking about all of that, and it was like really nice to talk about that, like for her to appreciate the performers and not just like, oh yeah, we saw Bluey. I wouldn't begrudge her that, but it was nice to talk about that with her, with the 3-year-old. But yeah, like I said, me and my cousin were bawling at the beauty of it, and some of the things in the play obviously hark back to the episodes. If you don't watch Bluey, like you should. If you don't have kids, that doesn't matter. You should watch Bluey. It's just, it is perfection as a art form. The Behind the Bluey podcast that's hosted by the director is really, really interesting. It's just like a really good piece of art. Yeah. So yeah, it was lovely. It was expensive, but I paid for it a long time ago. So when you come to it, you feel like, nah, it was still expensive. So yeah, would recommend. If you get a chance to see it with kids, especially. It was really kid friendly. Like, it wasn't like you had to sit there in silence. There was kind of a lot of, yeah, everybody get up and dance, and not quite pantomime-y, but yeah, the level was really good, really, really good. And yeah, the girls had a really good time. Even baby Isaac was like loving it, with the colours and the lights, and yeah, bubbles. It was really fun. Yeah, really, really nice. And I just can't wait to take Anna to more shows. and see art. Really important to me. I need to get back to work. But I got a weekend stitching ahead of me. I'm so excited. Okay guys, I'll talk to you later.